Hi, this is Trisha from Lemon Paper Lab. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use artboards in Photoshop. To start off with, let's go ahead and create a new file here. When you go to create your file, you have the option to select artboards or no artboards. If you fail to select artboards with this step, don't worry, you can convert your document to where you can use artboards. So we're going to go ahead and leave it unchecked here, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Create. I have my new document here. We see our layer here, and then I'm going to go ahead and just zoom out, Command or Control with the minus key here. Let's go ahead and add a rectangle to this layer. So I'm going to access my rectangle tool. I'll just click on it. We'll size it to our artboard 3600 pixels by 3600 pixels, and I'll just go ahead and click on Create. Here, I'll click on these align tools here. We'll change our line to canvas, and then we will go ahead and center that on our canvas here. Let's just go ahead and change the color. I'm just going to use a blue one here, and we have our artboard with a rectangle. So if I want to start using artboards, what you can do is you can right click on this layer, and then you can select artboard from layers. You can give your artboard a name. You even have the options to set the width and height here, and then we'll go ahead and click on Create. And as we can see, it has been turned into an artboard with our layer here. If you ever want to change the size of your artboard, you can come to, make sure you have your artboard layer clicked, and then you can come to Properties. If you do not see your Properties panel, go ahead and click on Window and select Properties here. In here, you can change the width and height of it. Photoshop also has the Artboard tool. To access the Artboard tool, you'll come to the Move tool here and right click, and you can see the Artboard tool. When you select that, you'll see these plus icons appear. If you click on it, it will create a new artboard. In this case, under Properties, we can see that artboard background color is set to white. If you want it to be transparent, you can change that setting there. We'll go ahead and hit Command or Control Z to undo that. Let's go ahead and undo that, Command or Control Z. So we have our original artboard here. If you want to duplicate this artboard, the keyboard shortcut for that is Option, click, and then you can drag it to the side here. You also have the option from the Layers panel to right click and select Duplicate Artboard. So here you can give it a name and then just click on OK. And it will create a duplicate of your artboard there. In this case, if we wanted to reposition our artboards, maybe our spacing is the same here. So make sure you have your artboard selected, clicking on the kind of outside edge, and then just holding down the Command key for Mac users, Control key for PC, and then you are just going to hold that key, and then you can click and move it. That way we can get it evenly spaced here. One thing to note when working with artboards is you cannot use the pattern preview mode. So if I tried to go to view pattern preview, it would not let me because I'm using artboards. So my work around that is I will usually create a rectangle the size of my artboard, and then I will just convert it to a smart object. And then from here, I'll just jump into my smart object. And then if I want to work with the pattern preview mode, I can go ahead and click on pattern preview mode here. So let's just we'll add a new shape here. We'll create a new layer. Let's make it white here. And then we'll just add in a circle. We'll use our move tool, bring it to the center, and then we'll go ahead and duplicate that. Option, click for Mac, Alt click for PC, and then let's just bring it to the corner here. We can create our pattern here. You have the option to save it. So let's go ahead and turn that mode off. And in this case, if you wanted to show as a pattern after pattern preview mode, you'll need to duplicate it into all of the corners. But let's just go ahead and save this. Smart Object, Command or Control S to save it, and then Command or Control W to close it. So we have our Smart Object here. If you want to work with it in this view now, you can always right click, and then we will go to Convert to Layers, and you can work with these objects again in this document. To export your artboards, you're going to go to File, Export. One option is to do Export As. Photoshop will save the file names based on the artboard name. So if you want your files to be a specific name, I recommend changing your artboard names first. You also have the option to add a suffix here that will be added to the back of the file name. Under file settings, you can choose between PNG, JPEG, or GIF, and then you can select your image size here. One thing to note when exporting it this way is your file will be exported in 72 dpi. So this method could be good if you are saving something for web. So we'll go ahead and cancel that there. Personally, I want my file to be saved at a 300 dpi resolution, which is industry standard for digital scrapbook paper. So instead of using that method, I'm going to go to File, Export, and then in this case, you are going to go to Artboards to Files. Here you can select a destination and then just click on Open here. With this save method, you can add a prefix, so you can add extra data to the front of your file name, whereas in the other method, you could add a suffix where it would add it to the end. So in this case, we can just write blue, and then you want to make sure that artboard content only is selected. And then under these export options, if you toggle it here, you want to make sure include artboard name is not selected when you go to save it. So we can toggle that off here. Our file type is JPEG, but you do have other options here. And then when you click on Run, it will just save each of those artboards as their own file. And then it will give you this dialog box here. So that's how you save out your artboards if you want to maintain the resolution that you have set for your file. Artboards are also a great option if you want to save it as a PDF. So we'll go File, Export, Artboards to PDF here. In this case, you would want to make sure artboard content only is selected. If you want to save all the artboards out, you will deselect this Export Selected Artboards because we want to save it all. Under Options, we have our multi-page document, and then you can click on Run. And it will save this out as a PDF with all of the files saved. So if we pull up our PDF here, we can see our 3 different pages. In this case, we had no content, but you can see that it is saved as a PDF. Thanks for watching this video on how to use artboards in Photoshop. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment below. This is Trisha from Lemon Paper Lab. See you next time.